Stop what you're doing right now because what I'm about to share with you could be the most important 4 minutes of health information you'll hear this year. And I say that not to be dramatic, but because most doctors, including many oncologists, are still not telling their patients over 50 about this. Not because they don't know, but because it doesn't come in a pill bottle. I'm Dr. William Lee, vascular biologist, cancer researcher, and author, and I've spent over 25 years studying what actually prevents cancer at the cellular level. And what I found, confirmed by a landmark 2022 study from Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health, following over 116,000 adults for 28 years, is that one specific category of daily habits reduces overall cancer risk by up to 61% in adults over 50. 61%. That's not a supplement, that's not chemotherapy, that's lifestyle. And today, I'm going to break down the 5 most powerful components of that habit, ranked from helpful to absolutely transformational, so that by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to start doing tomorrow morning. Now, I want to tease something for you right now because number 1 on this list is something 90% of people over 60 are doing completely wrong, and the science suggests that fixing it could cut your cancer risk nearly in half on its own. So do not skip ahead. Watch this to the end because the order matters. Each habit builds on the last. But before we dive in, I want to ask you something personally. Leave a comment below telling me your age. And this, have you ever had a doctor sit down and talk to you about cancer prevention, not just detection? I read every single comment on this channel, and your answers genuinely shape what I cover next. So please take 10 seconds and share. Now let's get into it, starting at number 5. Number 5, morning hydration. Number 5 is the habit most people laugh off until they understand what's actually happening inside their body at 6 a.m. 16 to 20 ounces of filtered water before your coffee, before breakfast, before your phone even lights up. Here's the part your doctor never explained. Past the age of 55, your brain's internal thirst alarm system starts misfiring. Researchers call it declining interoceptive thirst sensitivity. What it means in plain language, your body is dehydrated and you have absolutely no idea. A study out of the University of Barcelona confirmed that adults over 60 routinely operate 8 to 12% below optimal hydration, silently, without any feeling of thirst. Now connect that to cancer. Your lymphatic system, the body's internal waste removal network, is almost entirely water dependent. When hydration drops, this system slows. Cellular debris, damaged DNA fragments, inflammatory waste, it all starts piling up instead of being cleared out. And that buildup creates the exact low-grade inflammatory environment where cancer initiation becomes far more likely, particularly in the colon, bladder, and kidneys. The Harvard Nurses' Health Study put a number on it. Women drinking more than 5 glasses of water daily had a 45% lower colon cancer risk than those drinking 2 or fewer. There's another layer most people never hear about. Water directly supports autophagy, your cell's internal quality control process that breaks down damaged components before they can accumulate into something dangerous. After 65, autophagy efficiency drops by roughly 30%. Consistent hydration is one of the few things shown to partially restore it. Your action step is simple. Tonight, fill a 20-ounce glass and leave it on your nightstand. Tomorrow morning, drink it completely before anything else enters your system. Add fresh lemon if you like. The compound D-limonene found in lemon peel carries its own documented anti-tumor properties. Pair that water with 10 minutes of light movement, even slow laps around your home. Research from the Karolinska Institute found that movement amplifies the lymphatic cleansing effect of hydration by up to 40%. Number 4, fermented foods. What if I told you that one of the most powerful cancer prevention tools available has been sitting in kitchens across Asia and Eastern Europe for thousands of years, and Western medicine spent decades telling us to ignore it? Fermented foods, kefir, kimchi, plain yogurt, sauerkraut, miso. These aren't wellness trends. They're biological tools that directly address one of the most dangerous and overlooked changes that happens inside your body after 60. Here's what that change looks like. Your gut lining, which was once a tight, well-sealed barrier, begins developing microscopic gaps. Bacterial toxins called lipopolysaccharides seep through those gaps into your bloodstream. Your immune system detects the intrusion and responds with inflammation. Day after day, that inflammation becomes the background noise your body runs on. and precancerous cells love that environment. Chronic inflammation is essentially fertilizer for abnormal cell growth. Fermented foods address this at the root. A 2021 Stanford study published in Cell demonstrated that people who regularly consumed fermented foods showed measurable increases in gut microbiome diversity and significant reductions in 19 specific inflammatory proteins, several directly tied to cancer progression. The mechanism runs through something called butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid produced when beneficial gut bacteria break down fiber. Butyrate has a remarkable function. It signals precancerous colon cells to self-destruct before they can replicate. It's essentially your body's built-in cellular housekeeping crew. 1 to 2 servings daily is the target. Always choose unpasteurized options. Heat kills the live cultures that make this work. Look for live and active cultures on the label. And here's the synergy move. Pair your fermented foods with prebiotic foods, garlic, leeks, slightly underripe bananas, because these feed and multiply the beneficial bacteria you're introducing. Number 3, metabolic walking. You've been told to exercise. Everyone has. But nobody explained the specific biological mechanism that makes walking, done correctly, one of the most hostile environments you can create for cancer cells. Here's the science that changes everything. Cancer cells have a fundamental metabolic flaw. Due to what biochemist Otto Warburg first identified in 1931, they are almost entirely dependent on glucose for fuel and are remarkably poor at using oxygen for energy. This isn't a minor quirk. It's a structural weakness you can exploit every single morning. When you walk at sustained, moderate intensity, heart rate at 55 to 70% of your maximum, 2 things happen simultaneously. Circulating blood glucose drops, cutting off cancer cells' preferred fuel supply, and oxygenated blood floods your tissues, creating an environment cancer cells genuinely cannot thrive in. A 2020 meta-analysis from the American Cancer Society, pulling data from 1.4 million adults, found that regular moderate activity was linked to a 42% reduction in colon cancer risk, 38% in breast cancer, and 27% in lung cancer, even among non-smokers. But here's the piece that's specific to aging, and it's the reason this habit becomes non-negotiable after 65. Your mitochondria, the microscopic power generators inside every cell, decline in both number and efficiency by up to 35% as you age. Mitochondrial dysfunction doesn't just make you tired, it's now recognized as a direct driver of cancer progression. Sustained walking is one of the only lifestyle interventions proven to stimulate mitochondrial biogenesis, meaning your body actually builds new, healthy mitochondria in response to the movement. The protocol, 30 to 45 minutes, 5 mornings per week, at a pace where conversation is comfortable, but singing would be a stretch. Walk before your first meal when possible. Fasted movement significantly amplifies the glucose-depleting effect. Walk outside. Morning sunlight regulates the circadian system that governs your immune surveillance, your body's internal cancer detection network. Combined with morning hydration from habit 5, this becomes exponentially more powerful than either alone. Number 2, sulforaphane. Deep inside your DNA, right now, there is a protective system sitting largely dormant, and most people over 50 have no idea it exists, let alone that it's been quietly shutting down for years. It's called the NRF2 pathway. When activated, it simultaneously switches on over 200 protective genes. Genes governing detoxification, antioxidant defense, and the repair of damaged DNA before mutations can take hold. Researchers at Johns Hopkins identified that a compound called sulforaphane found in cruciferous vegetables is one of the most potent known activators of this system. The problem? NRF2 activity declines by approximately 40% between ages 50 and 70. Your DNA repair system is losing its supervisors, quietly, without symptoms. Sulforaphane essentially rehires them. Studies have connected regular cruciferous vegetable consumption to a 52% reduction in bladder cancer risk, 41% reduction in prostate cancer incidence, and meaningful reductions in breast and lung cancer markers. Most remarkably, research from the Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center found sulforaphane targets cancer stem cells, the generals behind cancer recurrence that conventional chemotherapy routinely fails to eliminate. Now here's the preparation mistake that makes most people's broccoli nearly useless. Sulforaphane doesn't exist in broccoli in its active form. It's created through an enzymatic reaction triggered when you chop or chew the vegetable, activating an enzyme called myrosinase. But heat above 140 degrees destroys myrosinase entirely. The correct method: chop your broccoli, let it rest 40 minutes, then steam for no more than 3 to 4 minutes. That resting window allows the reaction to complete before heat enters the picture. Better still, raw broccoli sprouts require no cooking and deliver up to 50 times more sulforaphane per gram than mature florets. Half a cup daily is your target. And the synergy move: sprinkle raw mustard seed powder over any cooked cruciferous vegetables. It independently supplies active myrosinase, restoring the enzyme activity that cooking destroyed and increasing sulforaphane bioavailability up to 4-fold. Number 1, oncological sleep architecture. Everything we've covered, the hydration, the gut repair, the metabolic walking, the DNA protection, none of it reaches its full potential without this: sleep. But not just hours in bed, specifically the quality, depth, and timing of sleep that activates your body's most powerful and least discussed anti-cancer system. During deep, slow-wave sleep, your brain runs the glymphatic system, a waste clearance network first identified by University of Rochester researchers in 2013 that physically flushes toxic proteins and cellular debris using cerebrospinal fluid. It only operates at full capacity during deep sleep. It cannot be replicated during waking hours. But the cancer connection goes beyond brain cleaning. During those same deep sleep phases, your body produces its peak concentrations of melatonin. Most people know melatonin as a sleep supplement. What almost nobody knows is that melatonin is one of the most potent endogenous antioxidants your body produces, and it plays a direct role in cancer defense. A 2021 review published in Cancer Research confirmed that melatonin actively blocks tumor angiogenesis, the process by which cancers build new blood vessels to sustain their growth. It also activates natural killer cells, the immune system's specialized cancer-hunting force. Now the devastating reality for aging adults: melatonin production drops by up to 70% between ages 40 and 70. Most people over 65 are producing near negligible amounts. Your primary internal anti-cancer mechanism is running at a fraction of its intended capacity every single night. The International Agency for Research on Cancer has classified chronic sleep disruption as a probable human carcinogen, not a risk factor. A carcinogen, placed in the same category as certain industrial chemicals and pesticides. A 20-year cohort study from UC San Diego found that adults over 60 who consistently slept 7 to 8.5 hours in dark, cool environments had cancer mortality rates up to 48% lower than those sleeping under 6 hours. Here is the non-negotiable protocol. Fix your bedtime, same time every night, including weekends. Your circadian rhythm doesn't recognize the concept of sleeping in. Make your room completely dark. Even low-level light exposure suppresses melatonin production. Cool the room to 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Stop eating at least 3 hours before bed. Digestion diverts resources away from the cellular repair work your body needs to prioritize overnight. And for the final synergy, your morning walk in natural sunlight from habit 3 directly anchors your circadian rhythm and amplifies your evening melatonin output. These two habits working together create a biological environment where cancer has far less room to operate. All studies referenced in this video are linked in the description. Read them. Bring them to your doctor. Ask the questions your appointments rarely leave time for. Here is what I need you to carry with you after this. You are not too old for prevention. The biology does not have an expiration date. Whether you are 55 or 85, whether you faced a cancer diagnosis or never thought seriously about the risk, your body still has a profound capacity to defend itself when given the right conditions. 5 habits: morning hydration, fermented foods, metabolic walking, sulforaphane, restorative sleep, no prescriptions, no expensive protocols, just consistent daily decisions that change the internal environment your cells live in. Every morning is a new opportunity to begin. If this video gave you something useful, subscribe and share it with someone you love. And tell me in the comments, which habit are you starting first, and what's been your biggest obstacle to quality sleep? I read every response.